My name is Ronnie Goodless and you're watching Toffee TV.
Moving into midfield, centre midfield, Gareth Barry. I mean, he's been probably man of the season so far. Played the season. He just knows how to control games, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But you know, there are times I've been not critical of him. I just think the way we use him means that he's almost like last ditch tackling on our edge of our area. But we clearly miss him when he's not there.
I wouldn't abandon that quite yet, though. I don't think you should just throw that out.
Not after Saturday, no.
No, but I don't think you should just say, "Oh, I was wrong about that." I think that's a really good point, because I said this last week on the other video. You look at Leicester and the way they Cambiasso went, and everyone thought, "Oh my God, this experienced player, they're going to miss him." And they brought in Kante, and they've got legs in there, and they've got energy. And I think next season, the Premier League, all these managers come on who like to play high intensity football. Having legs in midfield is going to be so important. I know it didn't work at all at the weekend on Saturday, but I feel as though we need to have legs in there for next season.
I think the thing with Barry, for me, is if he's gone up, and he has been our best player this season, he's been the most consistent, and he's turned in the most 8 out of 10s all season. He's been excellent. But I think that what he's got to learn to do, for me, is just don't go so far up the pitch, because when he goes so far up the pitch, it's like what you say, he ain't got the legs to get back, so they play around him. I think he's almost the third centre half at times, but the ball playing one in front, I think if he doesn't get caught out there, what the challenge for Everton will be is to find someone who can do that job and have him reduced on the pitch next year. You need someone who can do it. Bezic might be able to do it. He couldn't do it on the Arsenal game. He was dire. James McCarthy was dire. So someone's got maybe a John Stones.
Well, let's move on to James McCarthy. It's a player that's splitting, I think, a lot of people's opinions at the moment. First season he came in, he was magnificent. He was everywhere, covering every piece of grass. I actually thought he could go on and become an all-round centre midfielder if he wanted to and start out goals through it. He had that energy to get round the pitch. But in the last 18 months, I honestly don't know what he does for the team anymore. He doesn't seem to press as much as other people. You know, he doesn't seem to press like he used to. He doesn't go forward. He offers nothing going forward. He passes the ball side to side. And whether it's because he's sort of an isolated figure and is doing that job on his own, which you really need to do in packs if you're pressing. I know a lot of people say that position you don't almost see what they do.
Does,
but the fact that we are absolutely rubbish at defending and don't have the shape to defend, it almost says to me that the job he's trying to do just isn't being done. So therefore, I mean, what is he supposed to be doing? Because at the moment, it almost feels like he's just like a passenger.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's definitely a player in there, an important player in there. At time, the first season, he was just incredible. He was absolutely incredible. But we need more from him. We need more from him. He doesn't ever play a forward pass. If he gets up to the edge of the box, he just immediately turns and plays it back or sideways. And there's got to be more. You can't just run around putting the odd tackle in, and that's enough to be a centre midfield player. So we've got to get more out of him. Otherwise, what is he? What's he doing?
That's it. I don't really know what his job is in the team anymore. Like his first season, like I said, he was kind of defensive midfielder, but he got around the pitch and he chased defenders. He chased the midfielders down. The second season, Martinez tried to make him a box to box. I think he said Roy Keane type player, didn't he? Someone who can carry the ball forward. I thought he could do that as well. At the end of last season, he kind of played him next to Barkley, didn't he? With Barry.
Well, don't forget as well. I mean, last season he had that injury. He had that injury that he had pretty much all season. It never settled down. I don't know whether that took something away from his game, but we missed him last season when he wasn't playing because he had that injury. But he's never quite got that form back after the injury. Do
you think he needs more responsibility in the team?
I don't know what it is. Do you know what he did in the first year? A lot. What he did a lot in the first year. The amount of times when our fullback got forward and he ended up covering. The amount of time. I remember when we beat Man United 2-0 and Rooney had a chance in the last minute and he actually got across him and put him off, and I think Rooney just put it out for a goal kick or went for a corner. And he was there, and that's the job he used to do.
I remember Villa at home, we were getting beat 1-0. He took Thingy, he put McCarthy right back, and he went right back, and he was involved in both of the things, raiding up and down the line. But I think it's possibly the team has lost a bit of its identity as well. So I think he's lost a bit of his identity. But he's a good player. But if we're going to go up a level, he's got to bring.
I think he's one of those players that needs someone next to him who's got the same kind of level of energy, and that's why I've been calling for Mo Beckett to be in the side that pair and go round in packs and press higher. I think you get a lot more out of him. Definitely. But at the moment, the way we play, it just doesn't work. It's not working for him. Obviously, Ross Barkley again. He splits. I don't think he was split opinions, but he does. There's certainly a lot of people out there who do ask the question, what does he do? And there are games like Saturday when you look at it and you go, he's a top player. You want him to be playing well in those top games, and I can understand that. And also there's questions of his final ball. I understand that, but when he's good, he's good, and his consistency level has gone up this season. Again, he's another one that I think that's maybe just suffering from the position he plays in. It's just like, where does he play exactly? Yeah. Is he suffering because he hasn't got two players behind him doing all the running for him? He definitely needs to add something to his game. There's something there that he needs to add to his game. It's hard to put your finger on, but he just needs to be a little bit more involved all over if he wants to be that player. But for me, he's still a 7 at worst most games. So 22-year-old, he's
5 on Saturday for me.
I think
he had a poor game Saturday.
Everyone had a poor game Saturday.
But know what the thing he didn't do? He never shaked the ball once on Saturday.
And when he went off,
oh, it was over then.
It was over.
That with the Nias thing was the most ridiculous sub I've ever seen. It was pathetic. People who have a go with him, it's just, I can't look at that opinion. I can't put myself in their shoes, what they're seeing. He's frustrating at times, but he's also magnificent at times. So he's the one I build the club around.
Yeah, I completely agree. And that Arsenal game, we knew he was poor. We were talking before, I think that's about how the amount of times he got the ball, he dropped the shoulder, beat someone and looked up, and there's people having behind defenders. No one was coming short for the ball. No one was making runs. And when you're a creative midfielder in that position, and in Arsenal, if you look at the last 2 games, you've had a home Arsenal came with 2 holding midfielders at the weekend, Coquelin and El Neni. Chelsea did the same last week. They brought in Mikel and Matic. So teams now are targeting and trying to stop him from playing.
But others should be benefiting from that.
I think Ross Barkley is a player who would benefit from having 2 strikers in front of him.
I was just going to say that.
He needs, when he's running with that ball, he needs that player to split in front of him. And when they split, he could actually go through the gap.
Yeah,
I think he suffers from. He's not a number 10. No. Not yet anyway. He might become a number 10, but he's not a number 10 at the moment.
And he's certainly not a centre forward.
He doesn't play close enough to Rom. He's not allowed to play close enough to Rom. So maybe if Besic and McCarthy were behind him and they were really bossing the midfield, or you went out
like a diamond system,
or you went out and bought a midfielder who could boss the midfield, maybe then he could play higher up the pitch where he had even less responsibility. But at the moment, I feel like he's trying to be all things to all men.
I think if he played the 3-5-2. That he keeps, he doesn't play 3-4-3, but then he could play with 2 centre forwards, because I think he's tailor made for 2 centre forwards peeling off and him attacking that space and knock it in and get it back.
You keep that structure then behind him with 2 midfielders.
Or give him the ultimate responsibility, play 4-4-2 and stick him as the man who's going to carry the ball forward.
I think where he would actually benefit would be in a more of a 4-1, 3-2 sort of thing, you know what I mean? Like almost like when we had, like the diamonds. Sorry, it's complicated, Matt. It's when we used to have Carsley in centre midfield, used to play just behind the back 4, and it was slightly different because we only used to play with 1 centre forward then. But Gravison used to get so much joy, and I know that they're not the same players, but when we changed that system, Gravison suddenly, when Carsley came in, Gravison was just like a free roll. He had a free roll. He could do what he wanted. He used to control the game, pull all his strings. Cars used to just sit, and this idea of having to need 2 in there, for me, it baffles me.
The only problem with that is you lose your width, don't you? Because you're 2 either side. The Gareth Barry would be Besic, or you'd have 1. You'd have McCarthy, and then you'd have to have, say, Aaron Lennon or But then how can Delafeu not get in the side when he's mad? So if you played, for me, a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2, it's quite open, of course it is, but then if you've got 4 defenders and a holding midfielder, you shouldn't need anyone else, as far as I'm concerned, and you'd be doing the damage going the other way. That's how I see it.
Yeah, so that's Ross Barkley. Tom Cleverley on the playing on the left. I like the lad.
I do,
but I just don't think there's again, it goes back to the way this team's set up. I think if you have more dynamic centre midfielders, you don't need Tom Cleverley on the left.
But can Tom Cleverley go in and be the legs in the middle?
No. I think he can.
I don't think he.
You don't.
I think I don't think he's disciplined enough.
And I don't think he's combative, and I don't think he ticks enough of the boxes. Like, he's not great at any one thing, but he's consistent. Stick him out on the left.
Doesn't play forward pass apart from the
He's
long one.
not
do you know what though? At the moment, I would have him in there instead of McCarthy, because I think he chases the ball as much as McCarthy, and he offers a little bit more going forward. But I think what he does do, and what we've seen when he played next to Gareth Barry for a spell earlier in the season, is he vacates his position a lot, and that was the spell in the season where we conceded a lot of goals. And when he was
playing centre though, Matt, sorry, when he was playing centre though, actually he was playing a lot of forward passes, a lot of over
Palace game, and he was brilliant.
A lot of over the top balls.
Yeah, he was actually. Yeah.
A lot of seeing Ron early and playing direct balls to him. So he probably can play there, but I don't think he's good enough for where the team wants to be. You know, at the moment he's doing
a few of these aren't though.
No, I know, and that's great. That's not a problem. I'm not going to sit here and go, they're all great, because they're not.
Yeah, no, I know that.
But I think on the left, I think he's doing a job, but it's a job.
But it's a
job that he shouldn't be doing.
No, but him on the left, it means we lose an attack.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
We've got nowhere to go. That's what I'm saying about the shape of our current team. It's all lopsided. There's nothing. It's like down the right we attack directly, down the left there's nothing. He tucks in and keeps us nice and tight, but there's nothing. Baines on Saturday was getting against Arsenal, was getting there and going, there's nowhere for me to go because Cleverly's here. And he's knocked Baines of 4 years ago when he can knock it in and sprint, you know. And
it's like we have to play him there to be ultra cautious because we're so concerned about the defence of the team, isn't it? And just having that shape. I mean, it worked against Chelsea, granted, you know, we kept staying in the game, but
even a broken clock's like twice a day.
But when he plays there, I just feel like he's like an attacking passenger sometimes. I feel like if you give him a job to do it, he'll do it. And he'll be disciplined and he'll hold the position. But when we had P&R playing in that position, he could get the ball, win free kicks, find those little pockets and thread little passes. Cleverly can't really do that. He'll chase the ball around for you, he can play neat passes, but he's not got that incision which P&R had.
You know, if you had, we'll go on very quick, but if you had a different, like a mindset manager who made sure you were fit and could get around the pitch, this whole team could change. The whole dynamic could change.
Yeah, it's how I think it's more how it's set up than and the players. Did we mention Mo Besic?
Mo Besic, good player, needs to do a lot more. Next.
Well, I'm just going to stick on Mo Besic for a minute. I think he's got everything to be a really top forward, top player. He just needs to be a bit more consistent in his play. Games like Saturday are few and far between. He didn't look fit.
And if he wasn't fit, what the hell was he doing on the pitch?
But I think he's got a lot. I think he's got a lot to bring to this team.